Buenos días, aquí estamos de nuevo con una entrevista en este caso, un peregrino australiano, a Jeff. Y vamos directamente a por él. Jeff, how are you?
I'm good. I'm very happy to be on the Camino. I'm about 2 weeks into my Camino journey, and I'm loving it. It's great. I'm meeting lots of interesting people, seeing lots of fantastic scenery, and I'm really enjoying it. And mostly enjoying the food too. I love Spanish food. So
You like the Spanish food?
If I tell the truth, part of my motivation in coming here was to have more tapas.
Tapas. And pinchos, you know it?
Pinchos.
Pinchos.
San Sebastian was
And San Sebastian.
fantastic. I loved. Yeah. So the food is a bit of a motivating factor for me. Yeah.
Okay. Where do you start exactly your way?
I started in Irun. So I flew into Madrid, caught a train, lovely train journey up to San Sebastian, and then I caught the train from San Sebastian to Irun, and then I walked back to San Sebastian, and I spent 2 days in San Sebastian because the tapas.
Spend time in San Sebastian, I think, always is a good idea, but maybe you don't know, San Sebastian in Spain is one of the more expensive places.
Okay, all right. Okay, no,
right. But you can feel why because the pinchos, because the town is marvelous.
Yes, there's obviously a lot of time and energy goes into those pinchos. So it was something special. Because we don't have in Australia, so it's well, you can get in very specialised sort of restaurants, but not many, and in Australia very expensive.
It's expensive to eat out.
It's like a specialised kind of restaurant that would do that sort of thing.
Okay.
It can be very expensive. So that was a treat.
I need to ask to you, how is Australia now? How is after the pandemic?
So Australia's, as probably a lot of people know, we had a really pretty severe lockdown. In the city I come from, I'm from Melbourne, and we had a couple of really long lockdowns. We were locked down for 3 months, two blocks of 3 months, so it was a long time. So we weren't able to. We had to, couldn't leave more than 5 kilometres from our house. Worked from home. All the restaurants, coffee shops shut down. So it was pretty intense period. So, but now things are opening up, and the borders closed down, and so we couldn't leave the country, and people couldn't come in. But all that's changing now and opening up. So again, that was part of it. It was like, okay, the borders are opening. I'm out of here.
I would like to ask to you, if you want, how is the feeling of the people? They are optimistic right now about the future, or not?
I think most people are feeling optimistic at the moment. I think some people are probably a little bit cautious. Because a number of Australians got kind of locked out of the country, and it was difficult to get back in. So some people are a little bit, I think some people are a little bit scared about travelling yet. Some people are sort of waiting still, saying, let's see what happens and make sure that everything's okay. But over time, I think things are gradually going back to normal. So I think the overall kind of feeling, I think, is pretty optimistic.
I asked to you because I never have been in Australia, but I told you normally here comes 1 time a month or 2 times a month, one Australian person. And normally I feel you are the people of your country. They normally are really optimistic in life. You have a view about the future. It's good. The things are going to growing. I hope you didn't lose this in this year, in these 2 years.
No, I don't think so. I think I think you're right. Generally, Australians have a fairly optimistic outlook on life. We're a younger country, younger than Europe. So yeah, I think that's kind of part of our psyche. Yeah, is that optimism. Yeah, yeah. No, I don't think we've lost that. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
and
That's made me happy.
yeah,
Made me
yeah.
happy.
And yeah, of course, it's your business. And Australians love to travel. Australians love travelling. So not many Australians do the Del Norte. You're right. I think most Australians who do the Camino would do the Francis, the French, French route. Yeah,
it's more popular.
It's more popular. So I think there's a lot more Australians on that route. Yeah. And so I've been probably 2 weeks in my travels at the moment, and I've only met one Australian couple the whole time. Mm-hmm. I've heard people keep telling me when they meet me, they said, "Oh, I met an Australian yesterday," or "I met an Australian a couple of days ago." So I'm aware that there's another Australian couple travelling, but I haven't seen them yet. Yeah, so we seem to be travelling the same path, but we haven't crossed paths yet. Yeah.
Well, but, you can have the opportunity all times in your life to find people in Australia. Maybe here you prefer to find people of other countries.
Well, that's right. That's one of the interesting things about doing this is that you get to meet people from different backgrounds. Yeah. Look, I've had some really interesting conversations with people from Italy and Spain and Germany. A lot of Germans. I've met a lot of German people on the Del Norte.
Yeah. That's the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way is from the Germany people. No, now 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, if you look for about the history of the way, the German and the French people make the Camino.
Okay. Yeah.
Build the Camino.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, that's one of the interesting things about it is to meet people from different backgrounds, and people have been very friendly and very I've stayed in one hostel a couple of days ago, and I was the only English-speaking person in there was 17 people there, and I was the only English. Everyone else was German, Italian, French, Spanish. But everyone was very nice. Everyone made an effort to try and have some conversation with me, and I didn't feel I didn't feel left out. People tried to include me and have varying degrees of some people had good English, some people not so good, but I was able to have a conversation with most people, and it was lovely. Yeah. And it was nice that people tried to include me in the conversation.
I would like to ask you, what was your best moment in the way?
Oh wow!
Now.
Yeah. There's been a lot of moments. I loved the countryside, the scenery through the Basque country. It was just along the coast. It was just spectacular. It was very tough. It was physically lots of up and down.
Yeah.
It was a lot physically more challenging than than I thought. I knew it was going to be difficult, but it was I found there was a couple of days that were very physically challenging. But the scenery was just beautiful. There was one day walking through a valley, and I was on my own. But it was a beautiful sunny day, and I looked down the valley, and there were cows, and they had the bells, and I could hear the bells ringing. It was like a perfect day and a perfect scene. It was beautiful, and I just thought, this is good.
This is good.
This is what I come. This is what I come for, and that stands. That is one of the moments. And just in Asturias, where I am now, some of the coastal kind of scenes are very beautiful, spectacular too. The cliffs.
The cliffs.
Yeah. I'm still got a way to go in Asturias. But what I've seen so far is very, very beautiful too. The coast. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. A few moments ago, before the interview, we start to speak, and you spoke with me about your challenge to do this way.
Mhm.
Uh, What is your emotion right now about?
Yeah, look, I mean, there's a few sort of motivating factors I think for me. I mean, I know a lot of people do the Camino for spiritual or sometimes religious
Yeah.
purposes. For me, that's not so important.
Mhm.
And that's not my, I'm not doing it for those reasons. Um, I'm not closed off to sort of having a, spiritual, um, to spiritual experiences, but that's not why I'm doing it.
Mhm.
For me, it was more about the physical challenge. Am I, I'm getting older. I'm 58. Um,
But you look young.
Thank
You
you.
look like a teenager.
Oh, thank you. Um, so, I guess, you get into that age and you kind of think, well, the window of opportunity is shrinking. And there will be a time, hopefully, quite a while away, but there will be a time when maybe things like this aren't quite so possible. So that was, part of my thinking, and just coming out of COVID, where we were very locked down, um, and doing the Camino, like something I've been interested in for a long time. There was an Australian who did the Via de la Plata, I think that's what
Yeah.
you call it, and he wrote a book. I can't remember the name of the book, but I read that book about 10 years ago and found it really interesting, really, really inspiring. Um, and that sort of sparked my interest in the Camino. So whenever I saw anything since then that was related to the Camino, I would be drawn to it, and I would, kind of read, an article or a book, or, of course, I saw the movie, the Martin Sheen movie. So, so I've had quite an interest in the Camino for quite a while. And then during lockdown, I had to work from home for 2 years, pretty much 2 years. I wasn't able to go into the office, and during my lunch break, and we weren't able to sort of in Australia for big periods of time. We weren't able to sort of go more than 5 kilometres from our house, so there wasn't a lot to do. so during my lunch break, I would just look at YouTube videos of,
Yeah.
of the Camino, people doing the Camino,
Yeah.
and that reignited my interest. And when Australia, the borders opened and we could travel, I said I'm going to do this, and off I went. Yeah, and here I am.
A few moments ago, you spoke about your motivations are not spiritual, or more physical, or more.
Yeah.
That's, but a lot of people do the Camino, and all of them have different
Of
motivations.
course, of course.
All are good, and
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
all the ways are good. Um, uh, but normally, all the people have biggest or smaller a change in himself.
Yeah.
Maybe only
Yeah.
physical, maybe
Yes.
psychological,
Yes.
sometimes spiritual.
Yes.
You can feel some of
yes,
some
definitely.
of this.
Yes, I definitely. I mean, of course, you're walking, and so you have a lot of time on your own, and you have a lot of time to think. And some of these thoughts have been going through my head. And one of the things I've been kind of noticing is, and sort of focusing on, is the relationship between the mind and the body, and how your thoughts can kind of influence how you feel. For example, I I've had a problem drying my clothes some days, so I will put them on my pack to dry. So I'll dry them the night before, wash them the night before, get up in the morning, and sometimes they're not quite dry. So instead of putting them in my pack, I'll put them on my backpack. Anyway, I did that one day, and I lost a sock. and it was at the end of one of the more difficult days. And at the time that I realised I lost the sock, it seemed quite catastrophic.
Catastrophic.
In my mind, it was like a terrible thing. And obviously, it was because I was, tired, and it was the end of the day, and it was sort of blown out of proportion to what happened. And I woke up the next morning and I was like, oh my gosh, it's just a sock,
Socks.
It's no big deal. I'll buy another pair of socks. But it just kind of made me kind of think about, like the way the physical body can influence your thinking and the way you're thinking. So I've become much more tuned in to that, and kind of trying to be a bit more conscious of that and my feelings and the way I'm, if I'm feeling happy, feeling sad, or whatever, and kind of thinking about where my body's at, and am I tired? So that's something I've become a much more. The Camino has made me much more aware of that, and I've been thinking about that a lot. The power of the mind.
Maybe you can understand yourself better.
I think so. I think it's like opened up a bit of an insight into, obviously that's something that I've been aware of, but I think it's just focused and sharpened my insight into that aspect. So that's been one interesting kind of part of the Camino. The other thing is also about what my body can do, because one of my fears or anxieties, I guess, about before I got here was, am I up to it physically? Can I do this? Am I going to be able to walk for 30 days in a row? And it's fine. I can do it.
You
can. I can do it. I'm slow. I realised I'm a slow walker, and a lot of people I sort of have met and held up with, they kind of eventually I have to let them go because I realise I'm holding them back, or I'll just say, hey, if you want to go ahead, don't worry, I'm fine. I'm a slow walker. So I kind of realised I'm slow, but I've got stamina and endurance that I can actually walk long distances and feel okay. And that's something I really knew I was capable of. So that's been nice to know. And also, obviously, I'm 2 weeks in, and you build up strength and stamina as you go, and I can feel my body changing. I can feel the strength. I can feel my legs are more able to. Strength. Yeah. I was yesterday. I had a fairly easy day yesterday. I didn't walk too far, and at the end of the day, I was running up some stairs, and it was up some steps, and it was easy. Like I just thought, like 2-3 weeks ago, I would have been puffing out of breath.
Yeah,
and that was I just flew up in like a gazelle. So that's nice too. Feeling the physical changes in your body as you go along. And I've still got a way to go, and hopefully by the end of it, I'll feel even stronger. So that's nice. That's a nice feeling too. Yeah. So I want to. Hopefully that motivation I'll take with me when I go back home, and I'll try and maintain a higher level of fitness, because I'm feeling good. I want to maintain and keep that feeling. That's the way my body's feeling. So that's another, I guess another sort of benefit, and something that I think I will take home with me from the Camino.
Yeah. Who are you?
Who am I? So I'm so by profession I'm a social worker. I work with, all my life I've worked with people with a disability, and mostly intellectual disabilities or brain injuries, and I spend a lot of that time working with people who get in trouble with the law. So people with a disability or who offend, will have criminal charges against them. So that's what I'm sort of doing at the moment. At the moment, I'm sort of doing policy work in that area. And I'm a father. I have.
You're a father.
I'm a father. I've got three lovely.
Three.
Yeah.
Wow!
Yeah.
Congratulations.
3 girls, and they're all in their mid to late 20s, and they're kind of doing their own, got their own life now and their own careers, and they're doing well. So that's nice. It would be lovely lovely to come back and do a Camino with my daughters at some stage too. That would be nice.
Your girls have around 20. I think I understand. Maybe they are near to leave their home.
Yeah, they're all left home.
Yeah.
They're all with their partners, various partners, all doing with their careers.
Yeah.
So they're doing their own thing. Yeah.
I ask to you this question because sometimes the people do the Camino when they have a big change in their life.
Yes.
And if you have 3 girls
in
your life and they are out or near to be out, your life is changing really deep.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. So I think for me, it probably is a bit of a transition time. Like I feel like my daughters, my family are, I can take, a couple of months out of my life and it's not going to have an impact. And also with my work, it was, I was sort of in a transition period between roles. So, a few things sort of come together that the time was right. In Australia, we have a system. I don't think a lot of countries have this called long service leave. So every if you're with a company or an agency for 10 years, you get 3.5 months, 3 months leave, and then every 5 years after that, you get another 1.5 months leave. So you can accumulate that, for as long as you're with the company. So I've used that leave to do this. So it's a good thing because then you can take. I know for some people the problem is that the work, getting the time, the extended time to actually come and do something like this can be difficult. But for Australians or some Australians, we have this long service leave that we can kind of use whenever we want, really. And I've used that to do this Camino. Yeah. So it doesn't, financially, it doesn't impact because I still have my income and it makes it possible. So it's a good thing, good scheme.
And finally, I would like to ask to you, how do you see your future? Your future in your way, and your future when you come back to Australia, and maybe you are changed in your fitness, in your mind, in your understanding of yourself, and start to have your normal life, but change it maybe.
Yeah. What would I sort of take from the Camino back home? I think I've sort of mentioned some of those things. Hopefully I'll be a little bit fitter and I'll be able to maintain that, and a little bit more calmer, maybe a little bit more. Take things more slowly. I think. I guess that's the other thing I've learned. Slowly too.
Slowly.
Yeah, because
slowly life.
Yeah. I think that's important. Because when I started the Camino, I was doing too much. I was walking too far, and it started not the first week. It was like I'm not really, I'm not sure I'm enjoying this.
Mm.
So I slowed down, and that's made such a difference. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm enjoying it much more. I'm not feeling as tired, and I'm taking in more. The experience is heightened, I guess, from not. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, um, I had a kind of schedule mapped out, and I wanted to be at a certain place at a certain time, and I've let go of that. But that's not so important. I'm just
Okay.
walking. I just get up and I walk,
Okay.
and if when I'm tired, I stop.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that's the
Yeah.
best way to do it. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Thank you very much,
No, thank you.
Jeff, to spend time with us. Thank you to be here.
No problem.
We hope you have a good life, and normally, we tell to the pilgrims, "Buen camino."
Buen camino. Yeah.
Buen camino.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.